Shut her down. I don't care. I say shut her down. Let me get this straight. Democrats in the Senate are willing to shut down the government and have American citizens lose their jobs.
The US government has run out of money, and that means it is now shut down, leaving hundreds of thousands of workers without pay and bringing crucial services to a halt. Congress is responsible for funding the American government, allocating over $10 trillion each year to the various departments that run the country. But the two parties weren't able to agree on a funding bill, forcing the shutdown a few hours ago. Until they reach a consensus, more than 750,000 employees won't be going to work, impacting Americans, tourists and anyone who does business in the US. National parks will be closed, economic research stops, education and defence grants are paused, new medicine isn't approved, lawsuits are put on hold, and businesses won't get billions of dollars in loans. People considered essential will have to work, but most of them won't be paid, including air traffic controllers, airport security and disaster response teams. But lawmakers and the president will still get their paychecks during the shutdown period. The last time this happened 6 years ago, it lasted for 35 days and is estimated to have cost $4.5 billion in lost GDP. Right now, there's no indication of how long this shutdown will last, but the blame game has begun. Chuck Schumer has called it the Republican shutdown, while GOP leadership says Democrats voted to close the government.
Well, it's official. They shut down the government. The political theater, let it begin. You know, it wasn't complicated what the conservatives and the Republicans were actually asking for, but you know, Democrats and liberals, they love to give free things away to illegals. And you know, Schumer, he's got to watch out for AOC, so he's got to be the tough guy that stands up to Trump, apparently. But let's be so for real. If Schumer, AOC, and Gavin Newsom is what we have to worry about in the primaries, it's going to be easy to win this one. But let's see how good any of their acting is, right? Because, they decided to shut down the whole government because of it. I still can't believe, I mean, they were really genuinely asking for $1.4 billion to fund free healthcare to illegal immigrants, and yet there are still people popping in my comment section saying, there is nowhere in the United States where we get, yes there is. Yes there is. Try California, try New York. Here's what I say, you know, out of all of this, we are going to get some good content because, again, if it's AOC, Schumer, Kamala possibly, Gavin Newsom that are up for the primary, like, this is going to be great. And this is Schumer's big plan. Shut the government down. That's your big plan. Okay. Stand up to Trump. Be big bad bully. Okay, we got it. Y'all, can you tell him?
The government shut down. I'm not laughing because I'm happy, y'all. The last time this shit happened, Frumpy was in office. That was 2018. He let this shit ride out for 35 days. That means 35 days of nobody getting paid. Oh, and for all you frozen people that's on the streets of Chicago trying to hunt people down, your money is now furloughed. You won't be getting paid either, right along with the damn National Guard in goddamn Portland. Y'all not getting paid. Essential workers, bye-bye. Federal workers, y'all will be working for free as well. I'm telling y'all right now, don't take y'all ass through a TSA because them bitches are going to be mad. And when Toupee Fiasco was asked about the government shutdown, he brought up trans. What do trans people have to do with us shutting down, y'all? But on a lighter note, the Trailer Park think tank is pissed off that Bad Bunny is performing at the Super Bowl. I don't know a lick of his goddamn words, not one bit. But I'm about to go on Duolingo and study. Because one thing I do love is a party. And newsflash, you patriot GEDers, you can't deport Bad Bunny to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is part of the United States. Y'all make it so easy for us to clown y'all. Ain't no fucking country music going on this time. And the next time, it better be Shabuzi.
So Dookie Booty and the Republicans have officially shut down the government. Yes, it is the Republicans and Dookie Booty's fault because they are in control of the House. And Dookie Booty is in control of the fucking Republicans. So hundreds of thousands of employees are going to be without pay. They're going to be furloughed. Some will be working without pay just so that they don't lose their job in hopes of getting paid in the future. And some are going to lose their jobs permanently. And of course, he's trying to blame it on the Democrats. But wasn't this you when Obama was in office?
I hear the Democrats are going to be blamed and the Republicans are going to be blamed. I actually think the president would be blamed. If there is a shutdown, I think it would be a tremendously negative mark on the president of the United States.
And you're right. The president should be blamed. So it's all your fucking fault, Dookie Booty. You are the one to blame. We placing all the blame on you. And it's crazy how they'll sit up here and blame the Democrats, but they didn't even bother to fucking show up to even try to negotiate shit. And what's even crazier is this does not affect Congress. Congress is still going to get their fucking money, regardless of if the government is shut down or not. They still getting fucking paid. That's why the Republicans don't give a fuck. These motherfuckers really trying to say that the Democrats are demanding to have health care for illegal aliens, immigrants, and for transgender surgery for minors. Or for everyone, according to Dookie Booty. And everybody knows that's a bold-faced lie because illegal immigrants don't qualify for any of those programs. And he just had to throw transgender in there so that he can keep waging war on them. And thankfully, Social Security, Medicare, National Security, all the essentials won't be affected as of now. But the Republicans need to stop bullshitting and give us back our fucking health care. I'm happy that the Democrats didn't fold and that they fighting for our health care. If we gotta shut down the motherfucking government so that we can show these motherfuckers that we not playing about our health care, then so be it. Everybody need to fucking stop going to work and stop contributing to this bullshit any fucking way.
Just after midnight here in the United States Capitol, Donald Trump and his corrupt Republican cronies have officially shut down the federal government because of their unwillingness to protect the health care of the American people. Democrats are on duty, ready to sit down with anyone, anytime, and at any place in order to reopen the federal government and pass a spending agreement that meets the needs of the American people. But we don't have a credible partner right now. And we will not support a partisan Republican spending bill that guts the health care of the American people. Not now and not ever.
6 years ago, we had a government shutdown. And does anyone want to take a wild guess who was president then when we had a government shutdown? I'll give you a minute to think about it. If you said Trump, you are right. His first presidency, he had a government shutdown that went on from December 22nd, 2018 until January 25th, 2019. That shutdown went on for 35 days, the longest in any government shutdown. And also, if anyone recall, he did an interview back in 2011 with Meredith on the Today Show. He said himself, if the government shuts down, it's a negative mark on the president. So who's responsible for this shutdown? It will be him because he can't lead correctly. So yeah, I feel sorry that, federal workers are without their pay. But again, it's Trump's fault. He's the reason for this shutdown. And I don't want any MAGA folks getting in my comments talking crazy because y'all have been doing that lately and I don't want to hear it. He is the reason why this government is shut down once again.
Well, they fucking did it. They shut the government down, bro. They shut the government down. And what does that mean for my service members? Well, they didn't create a payout act. So until they resolve this issue, you're not getting paid. Service members will not be getting paid until this issue is resolved. How do you tell a soldier to come to work if they ain't getting paid? How do you motivate a soldier? They got bigger shit to worry about. They gotta figure out their bills. How you supposed to handle that and maneuver that? Yes, you get back pay whenever they fix this. But come on, bro. Come on. Navy Federal and USAA are offering or will be offering loans with 0% APR. So essentially, they're just going to give you your paycheck, and when you get your back pay, you pay them back. But this shit is just, I don't know, man.
It's official. We have a government shutdown. And here's what you need to know. While the left continues to argue that there is no illegal aliens receiving federal health benefits, it is not true. The state of California alone spends $8.2 billion on illegal aliens. And how they do it? It's because they circumvent the law. Same way the Democratic leaders are all doing it in the blue states. This is also what you need to know. During Biden's presidency alone, the amount of Social Security numbers that were given out just like that is unbelievable. So while you can argue that you needed a Social Security number for illegal aliens to receive health benefits, here you go. Every single illegal aliens that entered the United States during Biden and Harris administration received Social Security numbers. Not only did they receive Social Security numbers, a good majority of them, as we've all seen news outlets coming out, independent journalists are telling everyone, many of them are receiving Social Security money. Yes. So if you think for a second that we are not going to call the Democrats on their bluff, we just did. The House is back in session on Friday, and we'll see if they want to talk then.
DOJ exposed our immigration asylum disaster. That was the tip of the iceberg. Now, here's the story. DOJ has found that immigration gave a work authorization document to illegals just 5 months after they filed for asylum. That document allowed them to work while they waited to hear whether their asylum request had been accepted or denied. So they could work as an illegal, knowing it would take years before their case was heard. The Immigration Department mailed them a Social Security number. No interview, no proof of identity. Just put it in the mail. Here's your number. Needed. In 2021, DOJ says 270,000 new aliens were issued Social Security numbers, 590,000 in 2022, 964,000 in 2023, and 2.1 million in 24, right before Biden left office. DOJ also discovered that 1.3 million aliens are now receiving Medicaid. Millions received driver's licenses, some registered to vote, and DOJ says some actually did vote. Try and square that against Democrat claims that Musk is destroying Social Security and cutting Medicaid. He's not destroying. He's weeding out people who don't qualify.
Exactly. Make no mistake, this government shutdown is on Trump and the Republicans. Democrats tried to work with them, and they refused. Republicans in the House even refused to show up yesterday to negotiate anything. So this is on them. They want us to believe that this is over illegal immigrants getting health care coverage under the Democrats' proposed bill. That is a lie. That is false. There is absolutely nothing in the text of the bill that would allow for illegal aliens, illegal immigrants, to get health care coverage. You have to be of legal status to get it. It's that simple. So what they are telling you is a lie, and they know that. They want you to believe that because there's no other excuse for them not to negotiate on this. And it just shows that they would rather shut down the government, harm Americans, and prevent you from getting health coverage at an affordable cost. And I just want to remind everyone that while the government is shut down, Congress members are going to still get paid. Trump is still going to receive his salary. ICE is still going to get paid. They were funded under a separate bill earlier this year. Who's not going to get paid is our military. They're still going to have to work without pay. There's lots of other members of our government that are going to have to work without pay, like TSA. But Congress, they're not working and they're getting paid. And it's not the Democrats. It's the Republicans in Congress that are refusing to do anything. We have to vote like hell in the midterms for Democrats. We have to vote like our lives depend on it because they do. And I know that seems like an eternity from now, a long ways off, but it will be here faster than you know it. And the campaigns are going to start up here very soon because it's going to be a battle. It's not going to be an easy fought battle. We're going to have to fight for this. We're going to have to fight for our country. We're going to have to fight for the American people. Comment if you're going to be in this fight. Like it if you agree. Follow, subscribe, Share this, and I'll see you back here for the 411.
Yeah, I was wrong. There's a shutdown. I was hoping that the two sides would see that they can't take any more negativity and prove that they don't want to do their job. The shutdown is the ugliest manifestation of divisive politics because they're saying we refuse to do anything and you're going to pay for it. You're not going to get paid. You're not going to get the services. You'll deal with that anxiety. And they're making it sound like, look, it doesn't really matter because once they get their continuing resolution, because they can't pass a full budget with all the appropriations anymore, and they haven't done it for so many cycles, and we seem to be okay with that, even though I think it is a dereliction of their duty, people will get paid and the services will get restored. Yeah, but the anxiety, living paycheck to paycheck, which so many do in the positions that they are compromising, creates such negativity that isn't necessary. And look, I think the Democrats are fighting the right fight. You should not be cutting services in Medicaid for the many to pay for tax benefits that are over adjusted to help the few. That is a good fight, but that's also not what the CR is about. That funding isn't in this CR. So you're fighting something that I think is the right fight, although you should be in fix mode. Okay, not just, we got you on this one. You're hurting the wrong people. But states do abuse it. And look, it's against federal law to have undocumented immigrants get federal dollars for health care. So you've got to work with them to make sure that isn't happening. Okay? And the Democrats don't want to do that either. But the Republicans are doing what they said they wouldn't do, which is use their power to make things worse. And that's what a shutdown is. Where is better? Where are the solutions? And my biggest problem with this is it just creates more extremism because now there are going to be more people who are more pissed off at who's in there now, and they're more susceptible to these crazy fringe ideas, MAGA versus the Dem Sox, right? That's what it is, right? Outrage and everything on one side, and now equal outrage. You know, they poll the same way, by the way. The number of people who say they're MAGA and the number of the people who say they're Dem Sox are the same percentage of our society. The fringe is fed by inaction and proof that the system doesn't work. Who will do better?
The fascist president of the United States, Kanks, has shut the government down on purpose. He's trying to blame the Democrats and saying that the Democrats want to give health care to illegal immigrants, which cannot be done. Illegal immigrants pay into these programs. They are unable to access the things, the services that would kick back to them. But I think we should all note for the record that MAGA Christians oppose health care for marginalized people. Let's keep that in mind. But here we have Senator Bernie Sanders saying he will not compromise for American citizens that pay their taxes, that live in this country, having access to health care. Play the clip.
These guys have said it's my way or the highway. This is the way it's going to be. And that is kind of what Trumpism is about. That's that authoritarian tendency that we're seeing in America right now.
So are you telling me you're willing to vote no every time Leader Thayer brings this up?
I am not going to allow. Let me be clear. All right? You can quote me on this. You can quote me on this. We say in Vermont, to the cows come home. I will not let tens of thousands of fellow Americans die because they're thrown off of health care. In my state, people cannot afford a doubling in the health care premiums. We are already paying the highest prices in the country for health care. People just can't afford it. And what the Republicans have got to do is go into their hearts and go back into their constituents. Ask their constituents in Louisiana, where Johnson is from, do you think it's a good idea to give $1 trillion in tax breaks to people like Bezos and Musk and Zuckerberg, the richest people in this country, in order to throw people off the health care they have? I think the answer will be a resounding no. So I hope the Republicans develop a sense of morality, listen to the people of America, and do the right thing.
Okay. So Bernie Sanders said right there, hell no, he's not going to vote to throw Americans off of their health care. This is a Jewish atheist who has more moral clarity, whose message has never changed, who stands up for the most marginalized. And let's remember how insidious it is that these MAGA Republicans weaponize their faith against these working class Americans and say, you can't have nice things. And they scapegoat these immigrants. They scapegoat gay people. They scapegoat Black people. When the reality is, you can't have health care because Elon Musk and Kanks and Jeff Bezos don't want you to have it because they want all of the money for themselves and they want to tear apart democracy with an assist from the Supreme Court and from all of the Republicans in Congress. But let me tell you something. Kanks is on record for saying that he wants this shutdown. And let's play this hyper clip.
Good can come down from shutdowns. We can get rid of a lot of things that we didn't want. And they'd be Democrat things. We can do things during the shutdown that are irreversible, that are bad for them and irreversible by them, like cutting vast numbers of people out, cutting things that they like, cutting programs that they like.
Pause
When
that.
you shut it down, you have
Cutting programs that they like. Do you hear that, Americans? He's cutting programs that you pay your taxes in to receive services. All of us have lived with the luxury of living in a superpower. And yeah, we bitch, oh my God, taxes. But let me tell you something. When you start drinking bacteria in your water and emergency weather services aren't working, like we saw in Texas when a bunch of little girls died because there wasn't enough weather meteorologists to alert them that flooding was coming, then you care. Then you realize, oh my God, these programs and these services matter. But to MAGA Republicans, specifically MAGA Christians, the cruelty is the point, and sucking up to billionaires is their ethos. Play the clip.
to do layoffs, so we'd be laying off a lot of people that are going to be very affected, and the Democrats, they're going to be Democrats.
So, you know, this comes as no surprise to me as a woman who's lived in a red state and has seen what happens when Republicans get super majorities. Education system fell. We were 14th in the country 16 years ago when we had a Democratic governor named Brad Henry. Now we're ranked 50th, dead last. We are ranked dead last.
Hey, America. So all over our news, we're seeing that your government has shut down. And I don't understand what that means, because things like that just can't happen in the UK government. So I don't know how it can happen in the US government. And also, don't the Republicans run all three branches of government? And also, when the government closes down, I saw something on YouTube earlier. It was talking about how people don't get paid when there's no government. So people are going into work today knowing they're not getting paid. Why would people go into work? Like all the people that work in government jobs. And then I also saw that this is also going to lead to a lot of people being fired or made redundant. And I just don't understand how your government, the one place that governs the entire country, which is a massive country, can actually close down. Why is there not a fail-safe in place to stop that from happening? And how is the country functioning without a government? There's so many questions, and I can't seem to find the answers that I need. So if someone from America can explain it, that would be really cool. But I don't understand how you've got, the Republicans have a majority in, is it the House, the Congress, and the Senate, I think. I'm not really down with American politics. But they have they actually run it all. So I don't understand how it can shut down. If someone can please explain it, that would be great. Because as a Brit that's never experienced anything like this, I don't understand, number one, how it can happen, and number two, why there's not a fail-safe to stop this from ever happening.
So the government is shut down. I see the Democrats stood on business, finally. So what does that mean? Well, to Cheeto, it means he wants to fire everybody and bring nobody the fuck back. What does that mean? What does that mean to the American people? Most federal services are going to be cut or shut down, but there are some services that will be available. Like, for instance, the military will get paid. Active members of the military will get paid. There will be Social Security checks given. But also, we don't know if parks and services will be open because they can shut that down. And basically, they can shut down pretty much anything except for some vital services. How do we get the government to reopen? Well, one way we can get the government to reopen is to realize that it's up to the Republicans, because they have all the power. They have the executive office, which is the presidency. They have Congress, and they have the Senate. And they want to sit up here and campaign while this government is closed, blaming the Democrats. That's a bunch of bullshit. They can open this up if they want to talk and do business for the American people. The Democrats are willing, but they're not. So Democrats, continue to hold your fucking ground, keep this bitch closed until them motherfuckers are ready to do fucking business.
Well, you guys do know on this Wednesday, October 1st, the government is shut down. Shut down at midnight because both sides could not reach an agreement. And we know that this is all about money, right? But we're the same country that sends hundreds of billions of dollars to other countries to help fight their wars over there, while the American people sit back and starve because the Republican and Democrats can't make a decision. But people are saying this is not really a government shutdown. People like Kamala Harris is saying that this is a Republican shutdown. And I tend to believe what she's saying. The sides just can't come together. This is the second time in 7 years that we've had a government shutdown. And both times that we had these government shutdown in recent years, was the same exact president under this administration and under the other administration back in 2017 or 2018, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I'm not right about everything. But this government shutdown is most definitely going to affect a lot of people, especially people who get food stamp benefits, Medicaid, Medicare, Housing Authority, WIC. I don't know if it's going to affect them right now, today, on this October 1st, 2025, or if it's just going to take time to filter down if the shutdown continues. But this is what I was saying earlier this year, January, February, March, when I really got deep into TikTok. I said we are headed towards a recession/depression. I told you guys that this was going to happen. People was in my comments, oh, no, it's not going to happen. No, it's not going to happen. You don't know what you're talking about. Get off the internet, blah, blah, blah. But now look what's happening, because those same people who was doing all that rapping, this government shutdown is going to affect them as well. It's not a joke, man. Every time I do a TikTok, I tell you guys how real it is out here, man. Listen, these people don't care about us, bro. They don't care about the people that's out here struggling. They only care about the upper class and the rich people. They don't care. That's why it's easy for them to shut the government down. They've been wanting to shut the government down, guys. They just needed an excuse to do it. So here it is. The government is shut down. We don't know how long the government shutdown is going to last, but we do know a lot of people are going to be affected by the shutdown, man. You guys let me know what you think. This is just awful to wake up to something like this. I've heard threats of the government getting shut down, but it didn't happen. It only happened 7 years ago that I remember, and now today. And this is sad, man. There's people out here that's really, really struggling, that's dependent on getting those benefits, man. And those people are at risk of not getting those benefits. And the only thing they can talk about on the news is how